Rest in peace, George Foreman, age 76, boxing heavyweight champion. And you want to talk about something that's so eerie? It was probably, I want to say, a few weeks ago. Um, Watched his movie, even though I already knew about his life. I had lived in Houston, Texas, back in the day, so I was very familiar with him. Uh, it's like somebody that you kind of like inundated with, even though maybe you weren't, but you were kind of. We had like, how many I want to say, about two or three of them Foreman grills alone. Um, Read about everything that he had went through, his changes. I still remember that back in '94 when he became the oldest heavyweight champion. I remember watching that fight, and I remember something he said. He said something that every time I would be having these sports discussions, and you get these people talking about, oh, the referees are trying to pay or something like that. He said, you better take the person out. It was metaphorically, not just in boxing, but in any sport. You leave no doubt. So, like what the Eagles did to Kansas City in the Super Bowl, like how Tiger Woods used to do on the golf course, um, you know, you make an exclamation point. You don't sit there and leave it to the judges because if you're not one of the ones that they like, they're not going to give you nothing. So he took that philosophy, and I remembered that particular way he said that. And of course, growing up watching him, um, remember watching an episode Sanford Son, he did that. Remember when he did his cameo in Let's Do It Again with Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier. Um, and just he was a tough dude, but he did have a kind heart. Like at the end of the day, um, he really did strive to be a better man. When he gave his life to the Lord, for instance, he really did strive to be a better man. He had some very humble beginnings. He grew up pretty rough, but he changed the course of what he was about. He wanted to be, he ended up becoming an enlightened figure. You know, uh, he had an aura about him that endured him. You can tell when someone gets a light. Losing to Ali and Zaire was pretty tough for him, and popularity and personality, etc. However, he flipped that and made it work for him. He actually turned his life around.